Hi everyone, I'm Tom and I am here to show you some new things for Primal the Awakening. These are new expansions that are available to pre-order from Reggie Games, the publisher, now. Thanks to Reggie Games for asking me to do this and sponsoring this video. I'm also going to be doing a playthrough involving many of these new elements. But what is there? We have 10 biomes across 5 expansions. Each includes a double-sided playmat with 2 biomes with their own special rules to play against enemies of that biome, or you can mix and match any kind of enemy inside there. 2 brand new hunters to play with. We have Nightmare Expansion 2. This adds a Nightmare variant to all of the original monsters. The original Nightmare expansion just did it to 10 of them. And if I can just get them in, a new organizer solution to store all of your cards, old and new, in these smaller boxes. We're going to go through all of it in this video. So let's start out with the biome expansions. So inside the box, as I said, you'll get a double-sided playmat, the tokens and elements you need for the special rules for these biomes, and a rulebook telling you about it and also how to set up, the new setups you'll need in expedition mode. So if you want to play a biome in campaign mode, you just replace the standard board with the biome board that matches the monster's element. But you can play custom scenarios with any monster in any scenario if you would like to. There are rules and restrictions for any monsters if you want to include them in here. In the crystal caves, luminous crystals fall from above as the ceiling of the cavern trembles. We have a bag with 16 coloured crystal tokens inside. They match the colours of the action cards. During setup, you shuffle them around and draw 1 per player. So, assuming our monster's facing this way, this one would go in this sector, it's a green crystal, and this one would go behind, it's a blue crystal. At the start of every round, we draw a new one from the bag, and these are resources that we can use in the fight. Whenever you need to pay the stamina cost to play a card, you can remove a crystal of the correct colour to reduce the cost by 1. But there is risk to this. You might notice that the round tracker gets a bit funny after round 6. It's because at the end of round 6 in the Crystal Caves, the whole cavern collapses and the game ends. In the Flooded Wild, the tide rises like a beating heart, flooding the battleground and making every action more difficult for the hunters. We have a new water terrain type. We have these tiles with normal water on the front, but deep water on the back. If you use this in a campaign scenario, any normal water that is in there is used with these tokens instead on the water side up. And our round track's a bit different here as well. In rounds 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 and 10, the tide will rises and with it the water level. At the start of all of these rounds, any water in play gets flipped into deep water. When you're in deep water terrain, your sequence limit is reduced to 3, as with normal water, but when you refill your hand, you consider your hand size limit reduced by 1. So you'll draw 1 fewer card than you usually would if you're standing in deep water. Next up, let's have a look at Waltyar and Frozen Wastes. So for fire, we've got Waltyar. As the fight progresses, rising temperatures put increasing fatigue on the hunters. We've got these lava rivers here. If during your movement you cross over one of the lava rivers, so from these 2 or these 2, you suffer burning. And at the start of every round, you discard the top X cards of your deck, where X is equal to the round number. So if the fight is allowed to go on, you're really going to be suffering loads of extra fatigue. For ice, we have the Frozen Wastes. Freezing winds sap the hunter's precision and focus, weakening their concentration. So in rounds 1, 3, and 5, all of your mastery cards are considered blank, but then from round 8 onwards, they are blank for the rest of the fight. If it's blank, it means it's got no focus ability on it when it's unfocused and no mastery ability on it when it's focused. Next we have the Endless Swamp and Nightmare. So here is the Nightmare biome. In restless sleep, hunters dream of striking the beast over and over, yet their blades leave no mark. To overcome the nightmare, they must awaken a force buried deep within. So in Nightmare, your weapon's damage is equal to your weapon's level. And from the start of round 4, players gain a transformation token where they have the option to try and restore their damage to normal. If you play 3 consecutive offense cards in your sequence, you flip over from the human side to the monster side. So now your base weapon's damage is back to its printed value, but you cannot assist or be assisted for the rest of the fight. Over in our poisonous endless swamp, the fumes rising from the swamp are as deadly as any monster's venom. So here we have another bag-based biome where it is full of toxic fume tokens. We shuffle them all in the bag in setup and draw 1 per player, putting it in the correct sector. So if our monster was facing forward here, we would put the tokens here, and a new one will come out at the start of every round. They stay there until someone has to pick them up. At the end of your turn, if you're in a sector with any toxic fume tokens, you pick one of them up and put them on your hunter board, and if a player ever gets 3, they are eliminated from the game. Next, here's Goldarks and Thunder Mountains. Thunder Mountains is the biome I'm going to be doing my playthrough on. So Goldarks is our metal biome. The voice of the Awakened echoes through the mountain valleys, empowering both the monster and the hunters. So the voice of the Awakened is going to be heard in these highlighted rounds 2, 5, and then 8, 9, 10. Whenever a player suffers damage in these rounds, their damage is doubled. And whenever you inflict a wound on the monster in these rounds, you remove excess damage. It doesn't carry over. In the Thunder Mountains, the storm rages on, sparks flying across the battlefield. So in a player's movement phase, they will suffer damage equal to the monster's aggression level, unless they pay the stamina cost of their movement with a green dodge card. When we're in one of the highlighted rounds, though, the thunder is particularly fierce, and that damage is doubled. And finally, Nismaraga and the Sunset Plains. So our feather biome. The jungle is a hostile and chaotic environment, forcing hunters to constantly adapt their intentions and move swiftly. So next to the rounds on the combat track, you can see icons. Every time the round marker advances, players need to recycle a card from their hand matching the colour shown. Later on, it's going to be 2 colours, so you've got to do one of each. If you can't recycle a card of that colour, then you suffer damage equal to the monster's aggression level. The Sunset Plains is our horn biome. Blinding sandstorms sweep across the battlefield, leaving hunters unable to rely on their skills. In rounds 2, 5, and 8, all of your action cards played are considered blank. So it's treated as if it's got no ability text, but the colour effect will still happen. So a blank maneuver card will still remove 1 struggle. Next up, let's look at Heart of the Wild. This is the new character expansion, 2 new characters for the game. We've got Drusk banging his war drum and Zariah with her spear. So we've got a load of new shops to incorporate the new characters. So Zariah has a Pierce level on her board. Whenever she plays 2 consecutive maneuver cards, she increases her Pierce level by 1, up to a maximum of 4. And you have a Pierce ability through the game. Whenever you play a red attack card, if your Pierce level is 4, you can choose to deal your piercing damage instead of your base weapons damage. So normally the basic Great Spear's damage is 2, but piercing it would be 9. Which is okay, that's many times the original one. But when we get to big things like, say, a level 3 Star Lance, it goes from 9 to 35. Drusk with his war drum, as you might imagine, has rhythm. Whenever he discards a card from his hand, matching the top card of his discard pile, his rhythm level increases by 1. If it's already at 3, you draw a card instead. And then whenever another player plays an attack card, Drusk can grant an inspiration bonus based on his rhythm level. If his level is 2, the damage is increased by 2 times his weapon level. If his rhythm is 3, it is increased by 6 times his weapon level. He also has resonance cards. If he plays a resonance card into his sequence and the previous one had resonance, then he resolves the text of the card twice. You can have a maximum of 8 of these in your deck. Next up, the Nightmare Expansion 2. This includes the Nightmare variant, which was introduced in the Nightmare expansion originally, which also came with 3 new monsters and a Nightmare variant for 10 of the monsters in the game. This expansion is just for the Nightmare variant to 13 other monsters. Here's a little list of them, but it's basically all of the others, right? I think. And the Awakened. So for each of the monsters, the Nightmare variant comes with 15 unique cards, except for the Awakened, which features 9, and it is for experienced hunters looking to put their skills to the test. I'm going to be playing the game with the Nightmare expansion, and I'm very worried about it. I've not got into the Nightmare mode for the original ones, but let's see all of the new stuff, right? So whenever you fight a Nightmare version of the monster, you replace the stance cards with the Nightmare variant stance cards, with the right aggression level, of course. And then you take the Nightmare behavior cards, select the 3 with the correct aggression icon, and add as many as you like to the behavior deck. The more you add, the greater the difficulty. And for the ultimate challenge, you can combine this with the Hunter's Trial variant. And as you can see, loads and loads of cards to make the rest of the monsters nightmares as well. And finally, I need to zoom out because this is the original sleeves box from the first set of things, and it includes storage for all of the cards at that point. So we've got lovely dividers, lovely sleeves, everything all perfect and happy in there. But number one, more is getting added now. And number two, this box is huge and heavy. So instead, we have two smaller boxes that you can use to store all of your stuff in instead. New artwork on the top, of course. And so this is without the new characters in, so there's a little bit of space in this one. You can see now all of the characters go along here, the items here, the weapons here, and then all of the monsters in here, your quests up here, and then we have got space for storing tokens as well. So that's everything I have to show you right now. 2 new storage boxes, a new Nightmare expansion, 2 new heroes, and 10 new biome mats on 5 double-sided ones. I am next going to be filming a playthrough for a fight in the Thunder Mountains biome on Nightmare mode with the 2 new heroes. Let's see how it goes. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope it's given you a good idea of what new things are coming to Primal the Awakening. The link will be in the description to go over to the pre-order page. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.